Thursday, it's the 15th. No, I didn't change that. I knew I did everything wrong. Darn.
Yeah, you look good.
Yeah, but I didn't change the date. Save the date. All right.
All right. I'll be in shortly.
Mm-hmm. Tonight's date night for Karen and I, or Karen and me. So I stream earlier today. We have a 6 o'clock dinner and a 7:30 movie. The 6 o'clock dinner will have no pig, and the 7:30 movie is called Pig. Pretty good. I have to close my eyes for most of the movie because I'm a vegan. Something like that. Man, it always looks weird. Because I'm Fox News over here. All right. Can't see Vishwa nothing. And all I wanted was to see Vishwa something. All right, so we're going to do a recap of round 3. Round 3 was fraught with a lot of issues. So let's get a tissue. What did I send, Matt? Oh, yeah. All right. This is pretty far away. You're so far away. Doesn't anybody stream chess anymore? Let's see. Thaddeus, favorite. Hey, 1 cent. Thanks, Shane. Felix, maybe thinking is not your strong suit. You can't just think stuff and then when it doesn't happen, say, well, I thought it, so why didn't it happen? My coverage, as I've said many, many, many times, starts on Saturday, the 17th. And I've said it'll be either me and Danya, me and Wrench, or me and Ifan, or maybe Ifan will jump in with one of the other two. Yeah, but that's Saturday. Why is MVL on screen? Why not? Hello, Brandon, etc. I can't see too well. Yeah, everything is probably it's the light. Oh my God Almighty! I have seen the light. Dun, 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 dun. Heiser Heinz subscribed. Good, good. The more you subscribe, the more subscribers we have. Karen will join us eventually. I had to refresh my stream because I changed the date of the stream after I started. No. Yeah, we have to change everything in the room because we're having a chess camp and everything's the opposite. So we have to unplug everything, plug everything in, move to the other side of the table, move all the lights, turn them on, move the camera. So luckily I had 2 people help me. How do you get rid of ads? You subscribe to the channel and then you don't see ads. That was easy. I thought he was playing only today. Right, these games are from today. Huh. Yeah, that's why it's the recap of today. Yeah. Okay. You're here from YouTube. Do you work for them? All right. So the first game I'm going to look at is a tragedy of a mockery of a sham. This game was not good. MVL was equal in the early middle game, and then he outplayed Elshan and he was winning, and then he got outplayed and then he was losing, and then he was really losing. Thanks, Wolfgang only subscription. Oh, actually, thanks to Thaddeus for gifting that prescription. Confused. Day 3. I guess it is day 4. It's just day 3 for me. Yeah, all right. I forgot about the tie-break day. Yeah, I guess it's day 4. Yeah, and then I'll have to change it later, too. All right, if you refresh the stream, it'll be day 4. Yeah, I forgot the tie-break day because I literally didn't care about it. That's right. Okay, I'll brush, Lucas. All right. Pride 100, but I didn't get 100. You took pride in not giving me money. Go Thaddeus with 1D. Boo. The chat's getting worse. All right, we're at 0% on level 2. That's a good percent. Okay, so this game, which finished about an hour ago, saw the forced variation. Rook takes, pawn takes, check, check, check. King d5 and king b5 both win. Played one of them. And obviously, if black doesn't have perpetual, then white's going to win. White's pawn's ready to queen. Okay, and then Moradiabadi played well. Always repeat, good. Okay. Now, in this position, it says they agreed to a draw. I guess they did. The better the engine you have and the deeper it looks, white's advantage goes up a lot. So I have a bad engine with no depth, and it says +5 for white. I've also looked at it with a good engine and a good depth, and it said white was like +19. So agreeing to a draw probably was the wrong thing for him to do. Now, it could be, from Moradiabadi's point of view, black was going to check, and if black didn't check, then black has to move bishop f4, which stops white from queening. So I can see from his point of view, maybe he thought it was a draw no matter what happened. Yeah. But he was yeah. JRob730 subscribed. Hooray. Yeah. Anyway, King f7 wins. Now, there's two ways for black to play. Queen g7 check, or bishop f4 and stop the pawn from queening. The checks don't lead to much. There's not a lot of checks now. There's this one. And then we can move it on back. It's very hard for black to check. There's usually like 0 or 1 checks. And, if the queen goes here, I can block with the bishop. So this is the check that the engine says is the best. Here. And obviously, black's just running out of checks. If you play queen here, check. King here, there's no checks anymore. Anyway, white has a simple winning plan like bishop here, or bishop here, and then checkmate the guy. And sometimes this move wins, and bishop here, and mate, trade queen, whatever. So this is completely winning for white. And, obviously he's in time trouble, but it is a 30-second increment. So the fact that you're winning the last 25 moves and you have the most winning position you've had, and then you agree to a draw, it's not a good way to win a match. Now, the main reason, other than chess reason, like he's winning, is there's a match reason. Moradiabadi is in a lot of trouble next game because he's black against MVL. And anybody would be in a lot of trouble in that situation. But obviously somebody who's 150 points lower rated or 200 points lower rated is in more trouble. Black against MVL is bad. Don't have black against MVL. So if you're white against MVL and you're winning, and you're going to have black tomorrow, you better win. You can't just be giving him half a point. So that's not a good omen for Elshan. And Elshan and I are like, that son. He's the highest rated USCF and FIDE who's played rated chess at our club. So I think Nigel's the highest who's been here, but he didn't play rated chess. AKA Blue Jay subscribed. Thank you. Slow Time Traveler gifted a sub. Great. Hooray. Right. Well, and again, nobody's afraid of anybody. That's something that you guys do. You guys are afraid of everybody. Yeah, grandmasters aren't afraid of other grandmasters when they're playing them. They just, they play them. Yeah. Being afraid of your opponent is something that happens to, weak-minded, low-rated players, and they can't get rid of that, so they never get any good. And you can talk about how good somebody is, but when you're playing them, you're playing chess. You're not like, that guy over there is really good. You don't think that. You just play. So, Moradiabadi played a really nice game after he was worse, and he got a winning position, and he increased his advantage. And this was the most winning he was, and then agreed to a draw. Now, he was in time trouble, obviously, and I guess he thought he wasn't winning. If he thought he was winning, he would have kept playing. But I guess he thought there were checks and there was bishop f4, total misevaluation of the position. So I'm sure MVL was quite happy when the game was drawn. Now tomorrow, MVL gets white. So, all right, so that's unfortunate. Truth hurts. L or I or one, Kovacic subscribed. Hooray! Yeah. And so forth. Oh, so on the Like That Son, on Chappelle's show, there's a skit where Dave Chappelle is a prospective juror in many cases for some reason. And when the defendant is black, Dave Chappelle's like, no, innocent. And they're like, but you haven't heard the evidence yet. He's like, no. Okay, then at the very end of the skit, so they did like Michael Jackson, and they did... who's that guy that's still going to jail? R. Kelly and somebody else. And then they said Robert Blake. And they said, what do you think of Robert Blake? Now, he's not black. So Dave Chappelle said, oh, yeah, Beretta did that shit. Anyway, when they were questioning him as a prospective juror about Michael Jackson, he said, Michael Jackson couldn't have done anything. And they said, well, what if we told you the defendant described Michael Jackson's penis perfectly? And he says, look, I can't even describe my own penis perfectly. And I like that, son. So that was great when he said that. So, yeah. Also, at the very end of the questioning on Michael Jackson, where he said there's no way he could have done anything illegal because he did Thriller and so forth. Then they said, so you would let your son sleep at Michael Jackson's house? And Dave Chappelle goes, fuck no. Okay. So he has principles, but, not stupid. Okay, yeah, but like that, son, I like that. Okay, let's go to the next thing. You guys all remember Andreikin from the World Cup like 8 years ago when he was drawing all of his games and going all the way to the finals before he lost to Kramnik. Might have been 10 years ago. And then we never hear of Andreikin ever. We hear of him online, but Andreikin doesn't play in Super GM tournaments with the top 10, 20 players in the world. Truth hurts. Okay, so here he's playing Rufus, or wait, is that guy Doofus? Yeah, I've heard of his opponent, and this was quite nice, what he did. Here, Andreikin played a brilliant combination. Brilliant. I mean, and not only that, if Andreikin doesn't play a brilliant combination, the engine says he's much worse. It doesn't like White's position. Although, with the brilliant combination, it really likes White's position. So this is very computerish, what he did here. I would expect most non-GMs to miss this, and I would expect about half of the GMs to miss it. Maybe not the top 50 in the world. Maybe in the top 50 in the world, only like 10 would miss it. But it's pretty good tactic. Pretty good. Yeah. Forgot about Andreikin. Very good. You'll forget about him. Yeah. Why so much Michael Jackson hate? There's no Michael Jackson hate. I mean, on the other hand, there should be some Michael Jackson hate. Okay. and so forth. Yeah, I'm pretty good at talking about ace-king and bridge and in poker. Occasionally we have a stream talking about Anna Kournikova. Now here's trivia. If you're ever on a game show and you're asked this, you'll be the only person who knows it because I'm telling you. Are you ready? And I'm not kidding. And you're going to think I'm kidding. Nobody's going to believe what I say now except me and the people involved. Which, I want to phrase this correctly. Okay. Which tennis player was a partner in doubles to Anna Kournikova and me? I played doubles with somebody who played with Anna Kournikova, I think later that day. Or the next day. Might have been the next day. Yay, Lindsay Davenport is correct. It's well be subscribed. Hooray for everything. Lindsay Davenport's tall. Eric Rosen's a good guess also. Yeah. Have you been to India? Unfortunately. Yeah. Anne Murray's also a good answer. Yeah. John McEnroe. Boo, boo. Spelled Navratilova wrong. Terrible. All right. So look at what Andreikin did. Frankly, brilliant. Not talk to anyone ever again. That's funny. Yeah. Wait, that's a worse version of my checkmate joke. Obscure Maloney. Okay, so Dmitry played the unorthodox strategical move, but the correct tactical move, bishop takes e5. Now the engine sees the brilliant tactic, so it doesn't take the bishop. It just plays like rook e8, and it's like, I'm not appeased. Okay, but obviously a human takes the bishop. Ridiculous. All right, and now white has a forced win here, if anybody can find it. Or you could turn on your engine, and then you'll know immediately. But probably you should try to find it. I asked for coffee 20 minutes ago. Is there any coffee? Anyone? Yeah, I'm the talent here. I got, I do my own makeup. Terrible. Let's see. Knight g3 from Meepex. Well, if Meepex would learn the notation, he might be right. Yeah. Okay, so knight g6, correct. Now, the thing is, you have to see knight g6 when you play bishop takes e5. Otherwise, bishop takes e5 is silly. And he did play king g8, and then white just takes the rook and is completely winning. And that's what happened. Thanks, Mukali. That was pretty easy. No. Okay, now you have to see what the tactic is after he takes. Taking is a worse move, so he didn't do that. Thanks for the 350. Apple side, I told you, give him 350. Now you play queen check. There's one legal move, and then you take the rook with check, and the queen is dropping. Very nice. Now, what's funny about this tactic is when the tactic begins, the knight is defending the queen, so you got to remove the guard, then sacrifice a piece, and then do a discovered attack. It's the 3 tactics in one. And you would think black's queen isn't in trouble from getting captured because it's defended. And obviously nothing's attacking it. In fact, you can't even find a move that does attack the queen. So if I was black, I wouldn't think I'm losing my queen. It looks like pretty safe. And then a couple of moves later, you're like, damn, I'm going to lose my queen. And then the game ended, pretty quickly. Okay. Resigns. Yeah. +8. Yeah. Pretty cool. I saw this pretty fast. You saw nothing. All right. And so forth. All right, no lying on my stream or always lie. Yeah. Yeah, if you're 1800, you probably don't know when you're in check. So I don't believe you saw anything. All right, let's go to the next game. Right, now this is also quite nice because Kryvoruchko is 100 points higher rated than this other guy, whose name I can't pronounce because he's missing a vowel somewhere. I don't know, the second letter should probably be a vowel. And there's a funny story about Kryvoruchko that he doesn't know because he has, he doesn't care. So, I was giving a lesson to someone in St. Louis about 11 years ago, I guess. And I pulled up a game from Kryvoruchko. And he was like, what? What kind of name is that? He was looking at the name and he's like, what's wrong with that guy? How can you have a name like that? Now, the reason that's funny is because Kryvoruchko is Ukrainian and the kid I was teaching is Ukrainian. It has a Ukrainian name. He's Ukrainian like you. Your names also look strange to an American. What? So I couldn't believe a Ukrainian was saying another Ukrainian's name was strange. I was like, I don't know. It looks like a cool name. Yeah. Kangaroo, you're banned. Yeah. The boy who Kryvoruchko. Right, exactly. Jesse Kryvoruchko. Slow time traveler gifted a sub. I'm going to try to see why I'm not having coffee. There has to be a reason. But you made it. That's the most important part. Everybody's banned. You're not coming on the stream, huh? Yeah. Karen said I'm coming before, but, after our wedding night, I'm not fooled anymore. Yeah, they said, sorry, we're not bringing the coffee. We're busy. All right. Now, this position's too complicated for the stream, except for the guy who lies and says, oh, yeah, I saw that. And even before you said anything, I saw it. All right. You Ukrainian, too. What kind of crazy name is Kangaroo? Slow time traveler gifted a sub. Hooray. All right. Now, in this position, Black was concerned about bishop a3. So he made a move where he was no longer concerned with it. And that move was probably the losing move, even though he's almost 2,700 and he has a cool name and so forth. What he should do is instead of put the bishop there, he should maneuver his knight. And the correct move is knight to d7. And later, knight c5. Later. Maybe next move, maybe in 2 moves. And the engine says it's equal. And he played a move which looks good, but it's no good. So, on move 14, a guy who's better than everybody is losing because of one bad move. Bishop c5, stopping bishop a3. And he's like, yeah, that's good. Now, the reason that loses is quite funny. It's very tactical and strategical at the same time. So in this position, the fork trick actually sacrifices a pawn, but gives white a crushing position. And probably Black saw that white could do this, but he literally didn't care. And then after the guy did it, he literally cared. Then he's like, oh. So he misunderstood the ramifications of what was going to happen. He probably saw them and thought, that's fine. But he was okay. So knight takes e5, which I think Black saw. And if you don't take the knight, you're just down a pawn. He took it. The fork trick. And here, the fork trick gets rid of the dark squared bishop. And then bishop a3 is really good. So in this position, if Black plays queen f4, which is the best move, he did not do that. And the idea is, I guess, if you take this, then I can take on d2. Then knight f3 attacks the queen. The queen moves. Thanks, Picktunes 2. You could play knight e5 or pawn takes bishop, and white has a monster advantage. Close to winning, if not winning. And Kryvoruchko, whose name I'm not pronouncing right according to Kangaroo, although Kangaroo also said I don't pronounce kangaroo correctly. So, he decided I'll just be a pawn up. 2 pawns for 1. Great. Now, you don't want to play knight takes d4, or rook takes d4, knight takes d4, because of knight f3, so he played queen takes d4. So I'm thinking probably he saw knight takes e5 when he played bishop c5 at the start, and he thought, well, I'm a pawn up, and white has compensation. What's the problem? And the problem is bishop a3, which may look unplayable to some of you because this knight is hanging, is crushing, because if you take the knight, bishop takes is forking the rooks. And now we have a pin here, and the bishop is on this pawn, so you can't play rook fe8. And, for somebody who's almost 2,700, their judgment should be, man, this isn't good for black. So very poor judgment from black when he played bishop c5. Like, this position he should get to and be like, this is no good. And not only did he get to it in his analysis, maybe, he played it. Because black probably could have played better than allowing this. After d4, just playing queen f4 and being a pawn down, doubled pawn, and, and having a normal position. So, I don't know. I mean, very bad judgment. Very bad. Now, obviously, if you're rated 1,000 or 1,200 or 2,000 or 1,800 in some cases, it's understandable that you would think white's down a pawn, white has 2 bishops and good compensation. But if you're an engine or a super GM and somebody says, do you want to have black? You're like, nah, man, I ain't going to have black here. And black seemed to willingly go into this. So very poor judgment. All right. So he played rook d7. Somebody said knight d5. They didn't say which one. Knight d5 is also a move. And the thing is, you are defending, but it's in the long run, you're not defending. You can defend immediate threats. But when I play knight f3 attacking your queen, and rook e1, and rook d1, then it's falling apart like a house of cards checkmate. In the long run, you can't defend. You can defend a little bit, but your pieces are all tied up. They can't move. They're pinned and they're attacked. And there's nothing you can do. You just lose. The engine says this move and this move are tied for the top move. I'll give you the engine variation because you guys play some good chess. Knight f3 attacking the queen. Queen f6 is by far the best move according to the engine. Bishop takes d5. And you can't take with the rook now because I take this and your rook's not defended. So you have to take with the knight. And then I take this. You can't take with the rook because your knight's hanging. So take with the king. And then I guess I pin your knight. Yeah, it says rook fe1. I would probably play rook d1. Yeah, the engine likes this and this and this. And it says, black's lost. And black is barely lost, but like +2. Okay, so those moves are moves he should have played and tried to defend this bad position, but instead he tried, but he failed miserably. The lesson is never try. He played rook d7, which is a bad move. Knight f3. So the knight wants to take the queen, and the knight wants to go to e5. So queen f4 is forced. Otherwise, the knight goes to e5. Then rook a d1, attacking the rook that's defending the knight on e7. Man, the truth hurts. Now the engine says, it's getting close to +4. Now, if you want to defend this knight at all, at some point, you can never play rook e8 because of bishop f7 check. You can never play here because it's not defended sufficiently. And then that's it. So the knight just can't be defended. So the engine's given crazy moves like c5, knight g6, giving up the rook, rook d6. God damn. Okay, and that's actually, he did play rook d6. That's the third best engine move. Now white played very accurately. Instead of taking this, he played g3. Now the queen can't stay on the rook. Yeah, so then he took the rook. Yeah. So now white's up in exchange for nothing, and white has like a big attack. This is good, and that's good, and that's good, and rook e1's good. God damn. So the game ended shortly. Bishop e4, rook e1, and he resigned. If he takes the knight, then I would probably take the bishop, but the engine plays this move, which I don't think would be played. The idea is, this is checkmate. So, the reason I wouldn't play bishop f7 is after here, I would be worried about my bishop being captured, but you can't capture the bishop because of here. Oh, no, I'm sorry, not because of there. Because the queen takes b7? Well, this move wins and rook d7 wins. So nobody on earth's going to play bishop takes f7 except an engine. Just take with the queen. But anyway, he resigned after rook e1. And the engine says +7. So Kryvoruchko had like an equal position on move 14. If he played knight d7, he played bishop c5 and got run off the board like he was playing an engine. And that was it. And that guy's really high rated, but 2-game match, you can lose to anybody except me. COVID. Yeah, so the truth hurts. Okay. So this was very funny. Gareyev is sort of a wild and crazy player, and Yakovenko is a solid, top Russian grandmaster. Things didn't work out for Gareyev, and he was floundering and sacrificing and playing silly, and he's just been lost the whole game with white. And he's down a piece, and there's no compensation. So every move wins. The most winning move is bishop c8, always retreat. And the idea is if you take this, then you play bishop b7 pinning the rook. It's funny because it's not happening to me. So bishop c8 is plus 3.5 for black. Yakovenko made an incredible blunder here. Incredible. Now, I'm going to say he was in time trouble, but in time trouble, this is also an incredible blunder. Now, if I did it, it would be a normal blunder. If you did it, it would be one of your better moves. But Yakovenko doing it, come on, man, ridiculous. Okay, so he played the low-rated player's move, d4. It's attractive to a low-rated player because it's somewhat tricky. Okay, it's a terrible move. And Yakovenko playing it, I don't know, man. I guess during COVID, a lot of people who didn't play over the board slow chess for a long time, they forgot how. Yeah. You have to get vaccinated, otherwise you'll die and not watch my stream. So you watch more of my streams if you get vaccinated. All right. Also, if you're playing in the World Cup, you better get vaccinated. God damn. I didn't say so much about it already because, people show up late to the stream. But Caruana's opponent was tested positive, which they found out during the game, and they stopped the game. His opponent was forfeited, and now he's in, where they keep you by yourself. I don't know. And Fabi's going to stay in his hotel room and get tested again. And then round 1, another player, I think, tested positive before the game started. And Aronian's been sick for a few days with a fever, so he forfeited his first game today. So, yeah. Basically, They've changed the rules of the World Cup. The last living participant wins. That's fair. Yeah. That's right. If you're anti-vax, then you won't watch the stream eventually. That's right. Yeah. Let's see. Bishop f3, rook g6 with check. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, so the idea is if you take the bishop, then black takes the rook. That's the tactical justification. So he played Desperado, probably an Eagles fan. Rook takes f6. I mean, that's not a difficult tactic. That's tactics 101. Now, black's still better, but probably, he was shocked. Like, oh, I mean, it's like embarrassing to miss that. He took that, which is also bad. He should play queen takes, rook h8, and he's still better. And after this, he's probably not better. Now it's just bishop and 2 pawns for a rook. So now it's just a draw. So that was weird. He went from a piece up for nothing to like a dead draw. And they played on a long time, but nobody was better. It was equal. And they agreed to a draw here because you can't legally win. Nobody can do anything. I can't believe a player as strong as Jakovenko played d4. I mean, that's, he loses material. What? So Timur got outplayed and lost material. And then Jakovenko blundered with d4 and the game was a draw. Good game. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Anyway, I wasn't really interested in the rest of the game. I was just like in total shock that he played d4. Because rook takes f6 is a pretty simple tactic. Like the queen takes this, so you play rook f6. I mean, that's ridiculous. Terrible. All right. Now, speaking of terrible, this was not terrible. This is Gelfand is white. He's even older than I am. And someday, he said he would get revenge. Yeah. Because, I beat him before you guys were born. Okay, so Boris is white, and he played the correct knight takes h7, confusing the audience. Okay, so black took it, obviously. And then g4, he has an attack with great vengeance and furious anger. So if you play, for example, knight f6, which he did not play, h5, and black can resign. He was resigning before you were born. The engine says plus 11 for white. God damn. Yeah, so I would go here if I was black. And then here, you can't play FG because you get mated in one move. But white's going to play GF and queen G6. God damn. And it says resigns is forced. If you play queen D5, so you can play like queen E4, then G5. Because if you move your knight, rook here is good. And then some. All right, and the engine just resigns. Okay, so after G4, attacking the knight, he played knight F4. Because the knight defends the G pawn. Much better than knight F6. And then Gelfand said, oh, your knight defends your G pawn. And he played queen E4. And then when the knight moves, it doesn't defend the G pawn. I mean, you can't give up your knight, then you just lost. So, moves his knight, put it in H. Man, the truth hurts. That's a big attack. Okay. So, I mean, black isn't really known for his brains. He's known for his brawn. Brains. Brains, and they walk away. Question mark. Yer Treo gifted a sub. Hooray! The more subs you give, the more subs I have. Okay, so knight g5, hg6 double check. Moves his king over. And then he retreats his queen. And the attack goes on. Now, you guys are probably confused as to whether there's enough compensation for a piece. But I think you'll be convinced now because black played f6, which is actually the computer move. But if you're forced to play f6, you know something's gone awry. Knight f7, attacking the queen. Rook takes. What happens on knight takes? I'm glad you asked. You get checkmated. Check, only legal move. Check, only legal move. Check. And now you have two legal moves, but you're not going to like them because they both hang mate in one. So you can't play knight takes f7. So he played rook takes f7. The knight is defending h7. So now material is about equal, but black's king, frankly, is ridiculous. And this rook is ridiculous. And white has the open H file, and so forth. Yeah, and here he made a queen, which may or may not be the best move, but it's definitely the coolest move. And the purpose of making the queen is interesting. Yeah, the engine likes it now. After the move f4, if you played f4 in this position, okay, he could play queen takes f5 and knight takes f7, and the engine actually prefers black. Okay, but after f8 queen takes f4, if you play takes knight f7 with the bishop on f8 instead of e7, now the engine doesn't like black. So here white's completely winning, obviously. Black has to give his knight away. And if the bishop is here, then the engine likes black's position because king f8 escapes. That's a pretty nice nuance from Gelfand that he saw that. f8 queen, then f4. You can't move the knight because this is mate, queen h7 mate. So you have to take the queen, and you can't play knight f7. You can't move the knight anywhere because then these will win. So you have to play knight h7, so your king has h8 after rook g1 check. So Gelfand had to see all that, and Gelfand's like, man, that's no good. Look at that, terrible. Frankly, terrible. All of black's pieces are ridiculous. Okay, so the attack rages on. And he keeps attacking with his rooks. And his technique was impeccable as opposed to peccable. Really good technique. b4 is great, stopping knight c5. Yeah, then he played d7. And if you play king e7, the only move that makes any sense, then rook g8 wins immediately. And you lose your bishop. And the engine says plus 500. I mean, that was a great game from Gelfand, and Gelfand's 53. Right? So, I guess I had to make fun of Kasparov for like another 2 hours. I mean, Gelfand's playing 2700 strength over here, sacking and attacking and good technique, and Kasparov has 12 seconds left and stares at the board like a doofus for 12 seconds and says, oh, my time's down. Man, Kasparov not only played badly, but more importantly, he just forgot he was playing with a clock. He would have 5 seconds left, and he would go, oh, I lost on time. He did that a lot, where he'd have 3, 5, 10 seconds left, 12, and he just sat there and his time ran out. Didn't even make one move. What? It's like he forgot there was a clock at some point. Terrible. Dornock Charlie gifted a sub. Hooray. Yeah, Gelfand's good. Yeah. All right, time to make fun of Kasparov. Man, that was the greatest thumbnail ever. The one with me in the doctor's outfit and Kasparov looking older than he is, which isn't even possible. By the way, I've pointed out something for the last 2 years, and Karen barely doesn't agree. She doesn't agree. When I look at Kasparov, like now, a year ago, 2 years ago, if I didn't know who he was, I would think he was in his late 60s, and he's in his mid to late 50s. He looks terrible. He doesn't look like he's in his late 50s. Karen's 55. Kasparov looks like he's her father. Kasparov's 58. Now, Karen is from the South, so Kasparov could be her father, but it's unlikely. No, Kasparov doesn't smoke. Jack Grolsch subscribed. Go, misinformation. Somebody on the internet is spreading misinformation. I can't believe it. See, the reason Kasparov looked older and older in that thumbnail, I roasted him so much, his face was, starting to burn there. Yeah. Man, Kasparov keeps it real. And then Kasparov was unhappy to find out when keeping it real goes wrong. Well, Karpov's a lot older than Kasparov. Karpov's 70, and Kasparov is 58. Yeah. Karpov looks about 80. Karpov's 70, he looks 70. Now, there's a member of our club who's 85. I ask everybody to guess his age. It's always in the 60s, always. And he acts like he's vibrant and looks good. Yeah. He donates a lot to tournaments and to the Georgia Chess Association. He's not poor. But, I mean, he's 85 and he looks great. Sounds great. Looks like he's in his 60s. Yeah. Ridiculous. Your 67 could pass for 51. No, we're not talking about your age and your IQ. We're talking about just how you, yeah. Okay, next. Next. Okay, now, this has to do with something I talked about yesterday, which I've talked about many times. When the engine says all zeros, it doesn't mean the position's equal. It means the engine believes if both sides play perfect, it's a draw. Now, it could also mean one side plays perfect and the other side plays terrible, and it's still a draw. And that would also be all zeros. However, if the side that was playing perfect in my two examples makes any kind of error, they're dead lost. Now, if you're in a situation where you draw no matter what you do, that's good. If you're in a situation where you must play perfect every move to draw, any little mistake you lose, that's not good. But if those positions come up against each other, the engine says equal. Because the engine only looks at the best moves. It doesn't care about if you make a mistake. That's not part of its analysis. Like, he'll probably make 2 or 3 mistakes, so he's losing. Well, if he does, yeah. Okay, and this is an excellent example of what I was talking about yesterday. The engine says it's equal. Okay? Nobody on earth is taking black here. If you told a super GM it was equal, they would just laugh. Because these are the worst rooks ever. My king is better than your king. This pawn's ridiculously weak. This pawn's a little weak. My king is awesome. Look at that king compared to your king. And I have a pass pawn on the 6th rank that can never be captured. So the engine believes if black keeps playing perfectly, then he'll draw. Maybe the engine's right. But it's not an equal position. It's a position where everybody, every grandmaster on earth wants white. And if black draws, good for him. But black can't do anything. Black has no plan. There's no way to activate the rooks. There's no way to keep that B pawn there forever without using all your pieces to stop it. Terrible. And as a consequence, black lost in 6 moves, which is understandable. I mean, horrible position. And the only way to draw, according to the engine, is to play rook d8 and then move your king up here, up to c6 if it's legal. Yeah. And even then, it's no good, but you try to draw. Okay. Cheparinov played rook b8, so now he's already in trouble. King a5. Rook c8 is a very bad move. He should have played king e7. c5. And this is move 40, so this is the time control. Now the engine at this point doesn't like c5, okay, and it says instead you should play rook b1 and white's winning because here comes the b pawn. Okay, and black took, which is the engine move, and now since the engine was weak, it says, oh, white's winning. So if you have a weak engine, it says c5 is bad. If you have a really good engine, it says c5 wins. And what's funny is c5 is a big decision to make at move 40 because you're just playing quickly. So he was really confident that c5 won because he could maneuver around and try to play c5 later once he calculates it more. But he's like, no, that wins. Okay, so you take it. Takes b7. $5. Yay. Go Joanna. She tries to be on the banner. The rook has to move away. King b6. Exclam. And that's the kind of move that a low-rated player would miss often. The low-rated player is like king takes, king here, etc. Okay, this move wins and every other move loses. You have to stop king c6 and king c7. You got to stop them. King takes a6 loses. King c6. I want to play rook here. And if you play here, I pin your pawn and take it. But king b6 wins. This pawn is shallow and pedantic. Only thing that matters is this pawn and stopping the king from going here. That's what matters. Okay, he played c4, which is explosive. Now, white only has one winning move. Not easy for a low-rated player. For a high-rated player, pretty easy. Not only does white have one winning move, if white doesn't play the one winning move, he's losing. See, chess is tough. What of rook b8? What of it? Rook b8 doing nothing. Also, it's white's move. But I assume you mean rook b8 here. I guess. Yeah, it's the same. King takes, loses, and king b6 wins. Yeah, I mean, black can't move here. Black has nothing to do. Take this at my leisure, and eventually I'll kick your ass. Yeah, because at some point, when I take this and go here, king here loses to bishop b6 or bishop d6. So king rook b8 doesn't help. Okay. Right, bishop d2 winning easily. Now these pawns are shallow and pedantic. Now, white can play bishop c3 next move, and then eventually white can just take this. Even prefaced by that. So if black doesn't do anything, and I don't really know what black should do, there's nothing you can do. White's going to play bishop c3, king a7, and if you go here, I'll play bishop takes e5 check. So this is hopeless, so black resigned. Always sack the exchange. But yeah, this king's better than this king. These passed pawns can't move, This passed pawn's queen, next move. This is on a dark square, so I can go take it. Yeah, amazing. Yeah. Bishop c5? What? When? What are you talking about? Stop making stuff up. G4 in desperation? It's illegal and doesn't do anything. Yeah, still theory. What about king a7? What about us brain-dead slobs? You'll be given cushy jobs. Is there a chance the track could bend? Not in your life, my Hindu friend. Right. You can play king a7 whenever you like. I actually talked about it, and I mean that's what it was. You know, you can do whatever you like. Yeah. Now, if you play here, then you lose. King c6, threatening this. You have to queen. If you play king takes a6, I take your pawn. I can't queen. Yeah. And then 2 passed pawns, what else? c3 winning, the only winning move. And your king can't do anything because, king can't do anything. So, bam! As in the game, gotcha, bitch. Right. So, you're trying to get a queen eventually, but you're also trying to stop these passed pawns. So, bishop d2. Queen later, black has no counterplay. Stopping your opponent's counterplay, not the strong suit of my chat. The strong suit of my chat, saying nonsense in the chat. That's your strong suit. Stick with it. Gotta do what you're good at. Yeah, if you play the illegal g4, white can illegally take en passant. So that's why it doesn't work. No. Okay, next. Sorry, these are too hard for you guys. All right, now in this position from the Shirov game with the American Zherebukh, also Ukraine, I think, also mispronouncing. He was a student or is a student, and Webster, St. Louis University, who knows. And this position's better for white, but it's very messy. And when I showed this position to Ronaldo, the soccer player, he didn't like it. I said, why don't you like this position? And Ronaldo said, because it's messy. Ibrahimovic had no comment. Now, Shirov, irrespective of the soccer players, decided to bring it home. And Shirov made a move the engine does not like. It's the most obvious move to me. Rook d1. Rook's no good here. It's open file. And the engine's like, it's no good. Now, it still says that white's better, but not as much. And the point of rook d1, other than the strategical rook's no good on the side, put in the center, specifically, he wants to play rook d4, hit the queen, hit this, he's hitting this, double up on the bubble up later, and so forth. Now, Zherebukh must have not liked rook d4, so he stopped it, much to his detriment. And this is called having tunnel vision. Your opponent makes a move, you stare at the move, you meet the move with something, but you forget about something else. And this is common with low-rated players, not as common with Zherebukh. But truth hurts. Sometimes you blunder. And he made the worst move on the board. And if you say, oh, did he play this? Like you're making a joke. That move is better than what he played. This move is better than what he played. This is better than what he played. This is better than what he played. Every move you can think of where you're like making a joke, playing bad on purpose, his move is worse. You can't make a worse move. It's the worst move in the position. That's what he did. It's not easy to do. It's not. If I said find the worst move, most of you couldn't do it, even though that's your forte. Yeah. Any move you suggest is better than the move that was played, unless you suggest the move that was played. Then you're right. Queen b1 is equivalent to what he did. It's exactly as good. King D8 is much better than what he did. King D8 exclam. Man. Okay. Yeah, he played E5 because he wanted to stop Rook D4. Notice the queen is defending the pawn because I said so. And after here, Queen E6 is annoying. After Queen E6, I can't even complete the sentence. Like Peter's here, luckily. Peter, imagine what Zherebukh was thinking when Queen E6 was played. He's like, am I rated 1,000? And then 1,000 player walked up to him and said, dude, don't insult me. What the hell? Yeah, if Peter did that, I mean, he'd have to move and change his name because Dominique would be following him, asking him about that E5 move. So he'd be like, all right, I'm going to change my name. Yeah. E5, Queen E6 check. This is the World Cup. This is a slow tournament. What? I've never been so angry. That's the worst move I've ever seen anybody make ever. And it's move 23 he played it. He wasn't in time trouble. So he's not in time trouble. He's 2650 FIDE. And he makes the worst legal move on the board, hanging mate. You don't get those kind of ratings when you make moves like that. So it's really rare. Yeah. Ridiculous. Yeah. I guess move 23. If he's in time trouble, move 23, he should play faster. Yeah, frankly, terrible. Yeah, it was a mouse slip, even though they're playing in real life. That's right. Still was a mouse slip. Yeah, E5, Kasparov. All right, let me get some more coffee. Well, that depends on traffic. Yeah, so we have to, the restaurant is at 6.
Okay.
So I don't know what you think. You know, it's the one you suggested.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, so let me show Karen, because she doesn't know about this. All right. These games were all played today. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Hello.
This position's super complicated. See how both kings are walking up the board? Recommended by Kramnik in the no castling chess.
All right, let me just look for a second.
So this position's crazy like Fox News. White's down a pawn. Black has this passed pawn. Both kings are stupid. It's Black's move.
Hey, Rufus Blunder. Hey,
Thanks, Rufus Blunder. In this position, which was played like 4 hours ago.
Joanna Trask.
4 hours ago. Zherebukh made the worst legal move.
All right. I'm focused.
So what?
The worst legal move?
He made the worst legal move in the position. There's no move that's worse. No move. You can't find a worse move. You can't. Impossible.
So you're wanting me to find the worst move on the board?
You can try, but you won't. Like, for example, let me even tell you how bad it is. This is much better than what he did. Mm-hmm. That's a lot better. That's 1,000,000 times better.
Really?
Yeah.
Thanks,
C.L. Smith. Thanks, Rufus Blunder. It's Karen. Thanks for the 9 cents.
Yeah, I don't know. You're going to have to tell me.
Okay. I'm going to show you the move he played, then you show me the refutation.
All right.
He played E5. And the reason was White just played Rook D1. So White probably wants to go here. Probably. And he's like, all right, I'll stop that. And then he resigned after the next move. White's a play and win. White has one move that wins, but it really wins. It's the winningest. And I showed this position to Charlie Sheen, and without even thinking, you know what he said?
Winning.
Yeah. Shocking. Then I showed it to Martin Sheen, and I said, what do you think? And he said, Ben, I can save you a lot of money on your prescriptions. And I was like, what?
Hang on a minute.
Thanks to the 3XK.
Oh. Oh, yeah. Queen E6.
Yeah.
But that was hard for me to see.
Big money.
Apparently hard for him to
$10.
see too.
Thanks, Island.
Yeah, I found it.
Islandification. Fewer ads. Become a member. Subscribe.
Oh.
So in this position, notice how the queen's defending the pawn,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's not defending E6 anymore. Yeah. So after here, which he didn't do, Shirov has the pleasant choice of mate in 1, or he could play queen takes rook, which is even more brutal than knight F8 and keep taking stuff and then mate him. Harsh. Zherebukh's like one of the top 150 players in the world. He's like top 10 in the U.S. and he goes here. America. Playing the U.S. Championship. Yeah. Yeah, if Karen played E5 and her opponent did that, she'd be like, what? Rawr, mad. Yeah. Now, you have to understand, when you're that good at chess and you make a move that bad, it like never happens in a slow game. So when it does, I mean, I can't, what? Like, for example, if you were an NBA player and you shot an air ball at the free throw line, that's much better than playing E5. I'm trying to find an equivalent. Like, I don't even know what an equivalent is in sports where you would compare it to playing E5.
I
guess scoring your own goal in soccer, but that's, like you kick it in your own goal by accident.
Was he in time trouble?
I mean, he could have been, but it's move 23.
Oh.
I mean, so he could have been, but also there's an increment. Yeah, terrible.
That's pretty strange.
Yeah.
I mean, it's actually hard for me to see that, but I'm not a top player. What's everybody doing today?
Oh, yeah, own goals happen all the time. By the way, let me tell you something I saw. It was, it's like on ESPN or something, like highlights. It wasn't, like a super good teams. It was, if I gave them a rating in soccer, probably like 1,700. It wasn't professional teams in Europe. On the kickoff of the game, where the ball's in the middle, he scored. Usually they just like kick it back to their teammate. He kicked it, and the goalkeeper was out of the goal, and he kicked it perfect, and the goalkeeper couldn't stop it.
Okay.
Very embarrassing.
Wow.
Yeah, it probably happens once every 5 years or so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, go to the internets and look that up.
Oh, you're trying to avoid work, Joanna? I was trying to, but I wasn't successful. McJurgle says, my local chess club is reopening. Yay.
Yeah.
Yaroslav's birthday.
I said sports, not hockey.
Drunk or hung over.
Yeah, thinking's not your strong suit, Depillion. Yeah. All right.
Wait, what did he say?
He said, do Americans watch soccer? I thought they just play baseball. They're ridiculous. Am I playing baseball now? Okay. All right. Next. I'm going to turn this off so you don't cheat. Okay. So in this position, okay, most people would play knight takes rook.
I would.
Right, and knight takes rook wins. That's fine. But he played a better move. Professional athletes always wanting more. Okay, he played knight g5.
Oh, that wasn't even what I thought.
Yeah, now he's got 2 threats, one for each of you. Checkmate, okay? And bishop e6 check, winning the queen. And checkmating. Okay? See, 2 threats.
Yeah.
The obvious move is rook takes bishop. That loses in a shallow and pedantic way. Do you see how white wins by force here?
Queen e8.
Close. The queen part was right.
A queen.
Yeah, queen has to play knight f8 or something.
Oh, yeah. It's queen h7.
Queen h7. King has to go here because I said so. And then check wins the queen. All right. Now,
hey, what was wrong? Can you go back? What was wrong with just bishop e6?
You take it.
Right away. And then, that's not mate because of the knight.
Yeah.
On d7, okay.
Now, other than rook takes bishop, other than that, How do you stop bishop e6 winning your queen and queen h7 check? That's what he did. Black made a move that stopped both threats. You know, he's not in the World Cup for nothing.
Okay. Let's see. To stop both threats, I guess. No, that doesn't work.
That probably works, what you said. I can tell you what you're thinking works.
No.
Yeah.
It's not a good move.
No, it is. You're right. I'm your husband. I know that you're right.
You even know what I was going to say.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
What?
Knight f6.
That wasn't even it.
Damn. Okay. So
It's
knight
supposed
f6.
to be G6.
Where?
No, which doesn't do
What
much.
move?
It doesn't even stop it. I said G6, which doesn't even stop it.
Right. Yeah. Then it's still mate.
But knight.
Okay. So knight f6.
Okay.
Defends, right? No mate. And then the bishop is unleashed on e6. See? So no bishop. Yeah. See? That guy's in the World Cup.
It's looking better.
Right. Okay. And then after this game, I asked a friend of mine, an Indian, obviously. I said, "What does Adhiban mean? Like if you're in India, because it's Adhiban, right?"
Yeah.
And he said, "In India, when somebody says Adhiban to translate into English, that means God damn." And I was like, "Yeah." Now, when I show you this move, you will know that he is the Lord. You ready? I don't think you're ready.
I guess he's not trying to draw all the time.
Are you ready? Okay. Adhiban? No, he's a crazy player.
Oh.
Bam! He did it anyway. Oh, snap. As played in the game Gotcha Bitch. Now Black resigned. Black has one legal move. Okay, and White has forced mate. Go, Karen.
I guess, let's see. Bishop takes and rook takes.
No, that's mate.
I forgot. What's the time control? And
Slow
that's
chess.
long.
Just
Just
slow chess.
long. Okay.
Yeah, so knight f6 topping queen h7, and as we say in German, ich don't think so. Man, I never get to do stuff like that. Now, for $1 trillion,
Yeah.
the closest I've done to that queen sack was a similar queen sack against who? Who was I playing? And for $7 trillion, what tournament and what year?
A similar queen sack? I don't know. Did you do a queen sack against Fidel? Or no?
Corrales Jimenez? No.
Oh, you didn't?
I sacked all my other pieces. I still
I know
have
you
my
sacked
queen.
a lot of pieces. Oh.
That's a better game than Fidel.
Yeah, I
game.
don't remember.
Let's see if they know.
I
Yeah,
guess somebody
Balashov.
does. Oh, yeah.
Balashov.
I wasn't ever going to get that.
In Balashov, I played queen h8 check.
Oh.
The same queen sack. Yeah.
I didn't remember that game at all.
What? You don't remember the game with Balashov? Should I show you?
Yeah.
All right. No, because I might forget. Terrible. Okay. And then he resigned after this, and the computer, they're like, what? Why did he resign? So you have to show, Yeah. So this brings up an interesting question. It's only interesting because I'm killing time on the stream.
Kangaroo does know a lot of FICO trivia. All right, go ahead.
All right. So some people believe resigning shouldn't be allowed, like it's not allowed in every other sport. You can't be getting your ass kicked in basketball, tennis, and hockey. Yeah, okay, we give up. You can't do that. And in chess, when you give up, 99.9% of the Earth's population, if they know what checkmate is, they're like, why do you give up? Now, if you're a good chess player, you're like, oh, that's why he gave up. And in some instances, even good chess players don't know. So why is that allowed? And it's better to popularize chess if every game is played to checkmate instead of resigning, so they see checkmate, they're like, oh, he got checkmated. That's why he lost. Now, the other thing to do is play till checkmate, so like people that you know who are watching, like your family, they're like, okay, checkmate. Now, I have a funny story about that. I'm playing Serper. He's in U.S. Championship, and his wife is watching on the internet. And he has a bishop and 2 pawns, and I have a knight. That's it. And my knight and king are blocking his 2 pawns. So I'm just moving my knight back and forth. It's a dead draw. And he played on aimlessly for 30 moves. I didn't care. I literally didn't care. And when the game ended, he said, sorry about that. I just wanted to show my wife that I couldn't win. He's like, if we redo a draw earlier, she'd be like, you were 2 pawns up. Why did you do that? But if I move my king around and I can't do anything, she'll be like, I guess he can't win. That's what he said.
Right.
I want to show her, like, I can't win. I'm trying to. I can't. Yeah. Because, people who aren't chess grandmasters, like, why did black resign here? And unless they're using an engine, most of the world's population is like, was that a mouse slip? Is it a transmission error? Because the guy's queen's hanging. And they don't have the time to, like, analyze it and figure, For you, a tournament player, you're like, obviously. But still, the move is shocking.
That was shocking.
Now, here's more important than everything I just said, if that's possible. Here's something I keep telling the stream, and the stream is always replying with, that's what they're thinking in their head. When Adhiban played knight g5, did he see knight f6, queen h7? It's at least 100% yes.
Yeah.
It might be 200%.
Why do people think I'm not interested?
Yeah, they're dumb.
I've played chess before I even met Ben. I love chess. I own a chess club.
Karen can't believe the stream is dumb.
Tournament director. I've directed, 100-something tournaments. I've played in almost 300 tournaments. So I can assure you I am interested in chess.
Who do you hate more, them or somebody else? Right.
It comes up a lot. I know I don't have the most exciting expressions. I'm sorry. I'm tired.
Yeah, they're all the worst. Okay, so when knight takes f8 is a good move, right? Knight takes rook.
Yeah.
And the reason this is better is he saw knight f6, queen h7. And he knew that would happen.
Definitely.
The guy's definitely going to play knight f6, and then here, and then all the accolades come in. Yeah. So that's why he played knight g5. They both win. Knight g5 is better, and you get the added queen sack in.
I mean, I'm not the most high energy person. That's true. I'm always calm.
When she's high energy and not calm?
If I get mad, I might
No.
Face,
Karaoke.
Other than that, what about
karaoke? You're pretty high energy there. You're like, yay.
I am excited at karaoke. I walk around a lot.
Oh yeah, she talks to everybody.
Talk to everybody in the
goes to the bathroom every 5 minutes to sing.
Practice. Singing.
Yeah, I got her on video. She was good. If you go to Twitter last night or now,
don't go there.
If you go there, I put videos up of her singing last night. Frankly, great.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not
Give us
great.
hell, Quimby. That's right. Very good.
Well, I mean, everybody thinks I don't like chess. That's insulting, and I know it wasn't meant to be insulting.
No, it is. It's meant to be insulting. Yeah,
no, it's not.
They're all sexist. They don't even know it.
No, but my point is, I have enough get up and go. I'm not going to do chess. I don't know if you guys think I'm doing it to make Ben happy. I mean, I got my own.
I can
thing
tell
going
you,
on in life.
she's never done anything to make me happy. I can tell you that right now.
Oh, I've done many things to make you happy.
I thought when I said, when you're getting excited, you were like, don't say that, but I was talking about karaoke. And so forth.
Anyway, okay, I'm going to stop complaining.
I complain about the chat all the time.
I like
chats.
chess.
The chat's the worst. Yeah. Okay, so so what's the lesson in all of this? Now you're going to laugh at me. It still amazes me today, but I was really amazed as a kid. Now I'm just like in general amazed, but I don't care. Is that when math stuff happens, that's simple math, that it all works. Whatever you do, it works. So if you have like this times this equals this, and the answer is correct, you can check it by doing other things, and it always works. And I'm like, that's amazing. And in chess, when things work, not only can you calculate that it's worked like an engine, but you can have judgment. And if somebody said, well, white checkmate black, why didn't black checkmate white? Why? Now you could just say, well, variation A, variation B, like an engine. Or you could say, this rook hasn't moved, this bishop hasn't moved and can't move, this knight's not on the king's side, this queen's not on the king's side, and white has all these pieces on black's king, so white should have a winning attack. And then he does. It works. When you have an attack and the engine says everything wins for you, you can always justify it with, well, I got 7 pieces on his king and his pieces are on the queen side. It's always like that you should win. It's and you can see black wasted a lot of time like taking pawns on the queen side. And white tucked his king away. Look at that king. That king will never be attacked. This king, that king's nakeder than Karen on my birthday. Right, sweetie?
I don't know. I'm naked every day.
That's true. Yeah. And under our clothes, we're all naked. Just don't imagine it. Okay. Last but not least, don't forget to have another train. This was very impressive, and I'm not easily impressed. But this I was impressed. Now, based on what I just said, if white starts attacking black, is it going to work? See the queen here, Karen? Mm-hmm. See the knight there? Mm-hmm. You see how black played h5? You see how the g5 square is nice and juicy? Right? Now, I showed this game to Lil Wayne. Okay? And the pawn was here.
Yeah. And
Lil Wayne said, let me make it juicy for you. And he played h5. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, I don't want Karen to know this because, I shouldn't tell her, but after he made it juicy for me, someone got lit like a lollipop. I mean, what are you going to do, right?
I don't get the reference.
Yeah, I know. I know you don't get it.
I don't know that song.
Yay, thanks for the whatever you guys did. You think Shorty's in the club? Yodi Man subscribed. You don't know a lot of Lil Wayne songs, do you?
I know no Lil Wayne songs.
I know, yeah. Pacifist SPB subscribed. Good. 100 centidues, Yer Treo. True story. Yeah, he's a real juicer. That's correct.
Yay, Charlotte.
Yeah, lick me like a lollipop. Yeah,
LOL.
He agrees.
How'd you even know that song?
Yeah. Yeah, you got to make it juicy for you.
I don't listen to the radio fly.
100 centidues, Fly Half 2014. Man, if that song was on the radio, it would be 1 second long after they edited it. I mean, they have to edit the whole song.
Yeah.
You can't, nothing. Yeah. You can't, yeah. Man, how you know that song? I can't help it. I live in the suburbs. That was a great Chappelle show.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
Yeah. How you know that song, my man? I can't help it. I live in the suburbs. And so
hey,
forth.
C.L. Smith, I'll have to go right out and do that.
That's right.
Sing some Lil Wayne.
There's some Lil Wayne up in this bitch. Yeah. J4Y Bruise or J. Thanks for gifting a sub. Karen does sing Lizzo.
I did. Well, I sang Truth Hurts.
Yeah, Truth Hurts.
Because that was easy. Yeah. I can't sing some. She's too good for the other songs. Yeah, they put WAP on the radio. Yeah, that's
500 centidues. Go analysis. Frankly, great.
Not sure about that song.
Yeah. Now, Jorge Corey, very good player. Okay. Who else in his family is a good player? What relative?
What's the name? Oh, Corey.
Right there. Yeah. And then I want several words that rhyme with Corey.
I don't know who the relative is.
Okay, Kangaroo. Give Karen some names that rhyme with Corey. Watch this. Watch. Right. I'm covering it up.
All right.
Okay. Allegory, Montessori. And then he'll say, see, allegory. Yeah. Truth Hurts is a great song is correct. Thanks, Dobragab. You're the best. Yeah.
Yeah, I like this song, Truth Hurts.
Okay. So this is great what White does here. It's just fantastic. Okay. Lil Wayne approved. Okay. So he plays knight g5, attacking the h-pawn. Mm-hmm. So there's only one move. How do you save the h-pawn?
I guess g6.
All right. When that, opens up, so he penetrates. Knight f6. By the way, the answer to Corey, who's good, his sister. His sister, when I was in India at the World Junior Championship, she won the World Junior Girls. Mm. And he was playing in the World Junior, the other section. Yeah. He's 2,600 something FIDE, and his sister's like 2,400 FIDE. Good family. Mm. Okay. King here. And then, very accurately, he played knight h5 check. Now, if knight h5 check is played by me in a blitz or a bullet game, I didn't figure it out. I'm just, let's play knight takes h5 check. I don't know. But it's played in the World Cup in a slow game the guy figured it out. He's not going to lose and be like, oh, I messed up. Nobody's sacking all their pieces unless they figured it out. So this is all forced. So what's funny is like in this starting position, black's just completely lost. It's equal material. The D pawn's backward and weak. Black's king looks relatively safe, but it's just lost. Okay, now we're threatening mate. And you can't play rook h8 because then you're hanging your f pawn. You get mated a different way. Okay, so the only move is, what's the only move for black? Just stop this. And don't hang that. Don't do it.
I was about to do it.
Yeah, right, I don't do that.
I guess knight.
That's right.
h6.
That's right. So when white sacked a piece, he saw this, and obviously he had to see more. Okay. And now, as is the style at the time, you have to play Morphy style.
Get all the pieces involved.
So now the move is obvious. What did white do?
It's not obvious to me.
No, I mean, if you get more pieces involved, it is.
I think the rook could come over.
Yep.
F3.
Move it on over. Now, if it's white's move, I said if. Rook f6 is annoying.
Yeah.
So I ain't taking black here. If the engine says black's winning, I'm not taking black. Now, the engine says white's winning, but I'm not taking black. I can't. Queen and knight are over here, and you know, I don't like any of that. That's not good. So very good judgment. Okay. Knight d6, that's actually the engine move. Unbelievable.
Hey, Nura.
I've never been so mad. Okay. And taking the knight wins immediately, and rook f6 wins immediately. He took the knight because he's a human. Got to take that knight. Queen d5. Right. Now you remember when here I said he's going to go there. Then you remember black played knight d6, and after takes, you're like, oh, the pawn's not on e5. Now he can't go there. See that? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Now, do you know the game Fischer-Benko?
No.
Okay, in Fischer-Benko, the key move, now they've played more than once, but this is the famous game, was rook f6.
Okay.
And it's funny, remember in the Adhiban game, black defended h7, and Adhiban played queen h7, confusing the audience. This game, black made sure that pawn on e5 wasn't there, so white couldn't play rook f6, so white played rook f6. Right? Okay. So you have to take it, because I don't know what else you do. Check. Okay. Now, what would George and Louise do if they had black in this position?
I guess move it on up.
Move it on up to the king's side, on up. Bam. Well, there's no other legal move, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, this move is not given by the engine. It does win, but it's not given by the engine. The engine sometimes does not give certain winning moves. Now, if I made an engine, if I did, okay, what move that would win would I never let it play?
F3?
Yeah. Okay, now look at the top three engine moves. You see F3?
No.
No. See, never. That is stockfish. No F3. It announces mate with knight h7. It announces mate with queen h5. At knight e4 is plus 33. Because if king takes knight, queen f4 mate. And if queen takes knight, queen g5 mate. So that means you can't take the knight. That's bad. You got to take that knight. He played f3 because he probably doesn't even know who I am. Right? Now, the engine says f3 was the best move. Is the mate's quicker now?
I didn't see it before.
Yeah. Before it said like mate in 12 and 11. Okay. So that move was better than the engine move, probably because the engine was told no f3. Okay. Now f3 stops the king from doing stuff. This king has got nowhere to go. So now g4 check is annoying. So rook h8, attacking the queen, g4 check. and instead of getting mated, he resigned. But this is why you shouldn't be able to resign. Let's see what would have happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
King has to go here. There's no other move. Right. Now, unfortunately, every move wins. There's 2 double checks, right? And there's queen f6, and they all win. So that's probably why he resigns. Like, that wins, I give up. Okay, the quickest win, thanks Maelstrom X, is knight takes e6 double check. See? You know those checks that are like double checks? Now, king g3 loses in a shallow and pedantic way. I check, and then I pre-move queen h2 mate. If you take this or play this, queen h2 is mate, because the knight defends g5. Okay. So you have to play king takes f3. Otherwise the mate. Now everything is mate. This is forced mate. This is forced mate. This is forced mate. And chess is hard, but this is the easiest. Then this is the only legal move, right? And now everything is mate in 2. The engine played this mate in 2 first, which is definitely not what I would do. I would do this mate in 2, because the king gets to go here. And then somehow I would castle with mate. Now, if I could legally castle, then I would have king here, rook here, that's mate. Or king here, rook here, that's also mate. Probably I can't legally castle when the king's on e1, but maybe it's 960, and then mate. And if you don't like that, then mate. Now see, if this was the final position, that would be awesome. So they shouldn't allow resigning. I want to see that. And I lost to Ray Robson in our match in 2011, and there was a game where I could have resigned, but I thought it was cool to let him mate me, so I let him mate me, because I thought it was a cool mate. Yeah, G4 check resigns. That's not fun for anybody, right? So black had a lot of fun that game. The point of my story is white's play was impeccable. Since I started, white played like a supercomputer. Like every move he played was the best move. And then when he played f3, the engine didn't play that. Then the engine said that's better than what I was going to do, proving he wasn't cheating. Better than the engine. Yeah, that was very impressive. Now, one thing I didn't do today is yesterday and the day before, I sat in this chair and I spent hour upon hour showering praise on Jeffrey Zhang and Vladimir Onishuk, and they both let me down today. Onishuk got crushed
Oh, really?
by a slightly lower-rated player, and Onishuk was white. He got tactically crushed in the middle game. There was all kinds of tactics. It didn't work out. Jeffrey Zhang was winning against Michalewski, and then Jeffrey Zhang threw it all away and drew. Those guys are making me look bad.
Yeah.
And Michalewski, I have a funny story about him. I've played him several times. One time when I played Michalewski, he was outplaying me like he always is. He's always outplaying me. Then he hung his queen. Like he made a move and I played bishop check, skewering his king and queen. And then I barely won because his position was so good. He hung a queen. And he didn't resign. He played on. I'm queen. Yeah. So even the best, and then he drew Jeffrey Zhang. What? Hey, he hung a queen against me. D1 Structor. Destructor.
Hey, Felix Frias. Hey, Bonarici.
Well, I mean, Onishuk is black tomorrow. If Onishuk was white tomorrow and got crushed with black, I'd still be confident he could make a playoff. But after the way he got crushed and now he has black, I'm less confident. I wouldn't be surprised. Onishuk's good. But that's demoralizing when you're white and the guy just destroys you. And you're like, what? I'm Onishuk. Why did I get destroyed with white? Terrible. Go, Karen. Yeah, now let me show you this, because you weren't here.
Hey, Darth Six.
This is the final position of MVL's game with Moradiabadi, right?
Oh, yes, somebody was asking.
Yeah, the good engine says white's plus 18, and they agreed to a draw. Yeah, that's unfortunate, because when he finds out, he'll be quite upset. Yeah, MVL's probably man, you were crushing me. Why did we agree to a draw? So, yeah, he was in time trouble, but still, one on the 7th rank looks pretty good. Yeah, he didn't try to win very much once his king got to e8. He barely tried. Oh no, this is the way to win. Yeah, this is the end of the game. And then they agreed to a draw. And king f7 just wins. Everything wins, but king f7 wins easily. I mean, this pawn's dangerous, and this pawn is not. So, black king can get mated too if my bishop gets here. Gotta watch your king. But, I mean, you don't get a lot of chances to beat somebody much higher rated than you in a 2-game match. So when you do, you better win. Now he's going to have black against MVL. And I was telling the audience, Elshan's the highest rated player that's ever played rated chess here in our club.
Mm-hmm.
But who's the highest rated player who's been in our club?
Nigel.
Yeah, so you know all that stuff. Yeah. Merzen's good, but he's not as good as, as Artemio. Man. By the way, let me tell you something that I saw on Twitter. It's very hard to believe. It has to be true because you wouldn't put it on Twitter if it was. You wouldn't put this on Twitter if it wasn't true because this is easily fact checked. But I was shocked. Ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
There's 12 Indian players in the World Cup. Okay? Of the 12, how many made it to round 2? 12. All of them.
All of them, yeah.
And I was like, all of them? I mean, if there were 12 Americans, we'd have like 2 in the second round. Yeah, Americans got crushed in the first round. Like, I can name 5 Americans who were out. Some are in, but they're going to be out this round.
Mm-hmm.
Except for Fabi, who's, opponent's going to die or something. Ken West, that's right.
So I haven't read the full article. So who all got COVID now? And then Fabi's
Now,
opponent.
Now let me go into detail because I know more than some people. Okay, Fabi's opponent tested positive with COVID. Mm-hmm. The test came back while they were playing their game. So people are pretty mad about that.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you taking a COVID test to see if it's safe and then playing and seeing if it's safe later? What? Now that guy's from Indonesia. In round 1, another guy from Indonesia tested positive and didn't even play. He's just out.
Okay.
How do you... Okay, now that's fine. It's round 1. We're going to start round 1. You have COVID. You can't play. You're out. Fine. Round 2, move 13, an hour into the round. Oh, you have COVID. The game's over and leave. That's... No. Okay, now here's what I know that's confusing me. Jeffrey Zhang... Instead of playing round 8 of the World Open, he had to get a negative COVID test in Philadelphia and then bring it to Sochi and say negative. So if he had to do that, is that like an organizer rule of the tournament or is that a country rule? Either way, how did this guy get in with COVID? How come Jeffrey Zhang had to take COVID tests and this guy didn't?
Maybe he did.
Now here's what's...
Maybe he got it when he was there.
Right. Now what's funny is the guy who had COVID had a mask on during the game, and Jeffrey didn't. Mm. Now Jeffrey's obviously vaccinated. Obviously doesn't have it. He's vaccinated, but still, man, the truth hurts. The important thing is there's a playing hall with 128 players, and 1 or 2 of them have COVID. That's okay.
Yeah.
Now, if everybody gets COVID, I'm going to start getting a lot of invitations to Super GM tournaments, and I'll have to be picky because I'll be the highest rated player in the world. John Spielman, before you guys were born, true story. Somebody said, do you think you'll ever be world champion? He was like number 8 in the world or something. Mm-hmm. And John said, that would require a rather large plane accident. Yeah, he meant like the higher rated players would all have to die. Then he could be the world champion. Yeah, that meant no. And so forth.
Oh, now I didn't really think... Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Never mind. I didn't really think that was so bad.
What?
It's,
What?
The timeout.
Who was timed out?
Some guy, a doubter, COVID doubter.
Oh.
He might have been joking.
No, there's a lot of people who were doubters. Yeah.
It's fine.
They did a poll of like the Republicans and QAnons. Are Jews trying to take over the world? And the answer was yes. And then people are like, what? And then one of the comments in the Twitter from the gawking rabble says, I wonder why they would think that. And then he says, the Jews own the banks? And then he said something else. I forgot what the second one was. Politicians, I don't know. And Hollywood. And I was thinking, if you thought there was a conspiracy to take over the world, how is being in charge of Hollywood part of that? I didn't know.
Influencers.
Yeah, but I mean, what?
Influencers.
Yeah, but come on.
Cultural.
Take over the world by taking over Hollywood.
No, you have to take over.
Now, if I had some arms and some armies, okay, but
it's not just money.
Yeah, I understand that, but it's mainly money and arms. It's not like taking over the world. What? And whenever Aviv hears these things, he's like, "Where's my money? Can I get some money out of this?" Yeah, he wouldn't mind as long as he got some money. He's like, "You're not getting nothing." Yeah. So I want to tell you guys something about falling down. She's tried to finish it twice. She's around the middle.
I'm going to finish.
A little further middle. But here's my point. There's an actor in Falling Down. When I saw the movie when it came out before you were born, and I'm like, that guy is a genius. This actor who's in the movie for 2 minutes. That guy's a genius. And I just assumed he was an unknown actor and he's a genius. And I recognize when people in movies are geniuses, even if they're not the stars. I can tell. And I looked it up. The guy's like an award-winning actor. The guy's in plays and movies. He's been nominated for Emmys and Oscars. But he's in the movie for 2 minutes. And I didn't know what he looked like. But he's amazing. You agree, right? Okay. Frederick Forrest, you can look him up. I'm like, that guy's not acting. That guy, yeah, that's my guy. If you've seen the movie, he's the guy who runs the Army surplus store. Man, they found the right actor for that role. That guy, I believe that guy. Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to step out and I'll be right back.
I'm done. I did all the games.
Oh, you're ending already?
Well, I did all the games.
Oh.
Well, what? That's it. Well, I'm going to talk more about the World Cup and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mel Gibson.
Yeah, I was just going to go to the restroom.
Man, they got Mel Gibson good in Family Guy. The North by Northwest takeoff. Right?
What now?
On Family Guy, there's an episode where they're doing a takeoff of North by Northwest. At the end of the episode, they're fighting on Mount Rushmore. Mm. And the whole episode is just getting Mel Gibson. It's like, here's Mel Gibson's Nazi paraphernalia, and it's really funny. And Mel Gibson's shooting at them. And then Peter says to Peter says to Lois, this is a weird time to be starstruck, but Mel Gibson's shooting at us. And so forth. Hey, we have 99,099 followers.
Yay.
Yay. 99.
We're like a banana floating in the sky.
Mm-hmm. Did I talk about fear or Krekor? What am I, South American? You have nothing to fear but fear himself.
Felix Frias says he had side effects from the vaccination. I didn't get any. I was so lucky. But I had the Pfizer. Mm-hmm. I hear the camp winding down out there.
Boo. Oh, yeah. I want more coffee, but there's kids out there. Ew, and they have cooties. I got offer a job from Moderna. I hope it's not spell check.
Oh, that's good.
Yay. Go lawful waffle. No lying on my stream.
Lawful waffle.
Yeah.
Are you getting your second dose?
The second dose will come tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar on tomorrow. There'll be a dose.
We were just lucky we didn't get any side effects. Neither one of us.
Why Chinese players don't participate in World Cup? Ding Liren beat the bejesus out of his opponent today. Ding Liren was up 80 pieces when the game ended. I was like crying for the other guys. Like, Jesus Christ. Ding Liren's pretty good. He's participating. Don't be a hater. Be a participator. But you're right. I haven't seen a lot of other Chinese players. Yeah, Ding Liren, where are the other guys at? I don't know.
Yeah, hopefully I didn't get a placebo.
Those placebos, where are they? Where can we get them? Was Ding disqualified for cheating? No, they said 80 pieces is about right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ding Liren kept attacking his opponent, taking his pieces, and the guy's like, all right, I give up.
Hey, Big Daddy. How's it going?
Wang Hao retired. Everybody, Wang Hao. Oh, Yu Yang Yi's playing? If Yu Yang Yi's playing and Ding Liren's playing, that's good enough. Also, maybe Yu Yang was the game I was talking about. I'm confused. That's 50-50. Yeah, it could be that only you is playing. Yeah. I'm easily confused. Go us. All right, who am I rating here? Let's see. I guess I'll rate my favorite streamer, Karu.
Yeah, everything's been going well. Just real busy. Big Daddy.
Oh, yeah, Ali Rez's handshake before the game was they both put their hands there, and it was really funny. It was very awkward. They were like, should we fist bump or shake? And their hands were moving around.
Yeah.
It was really weird. Yeah. Yeah, Ali Rez was getting his ass kicked, and then he drew.
Yay.
So you better watch it.
Better than 0.
Did not see you was playing. I guess you's not playing. Or the ding. Well, I don't know. Somebody's playing. All right, let's raid Hikaru because he's better than me. And stacks paper to the ceiling and so forth. I'm probably not banned there.
I've been too busy. I haven't been on the streams lately. Hopefully I'm not banned there.
The sun will come out tomorrow. See you guys tomorrow.
Bye.
All right, we're going on date night later. So wish us luck. Watch Twitter for updates.